Download it today from your app store. You're listening to The Morning Drive with Casey and Elliott on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
It's hour number 3. We heard during this campaign season 325,000 missing children based on this unsecure border situation. The problem of child sex human trafficking has been ongoing, not just under this administration, but previous. But under the Biden-Harris administration, the sex trafficking rings problems tripled in number. And they're mostly migrant girls, from my understanding. And, of course, law enforcement, ICE and DHS, U.S. Marshals are doing whatever they can. But there is a group called Shepherd's Watch Foundation based out of Texas that are doing God's work in helping to flush out these sex trafficking rings being run by the cartels. Joining us this morning from Shepherd's Watch Foundation is their lead investigator. We will call her Lisa for her own personal safety. Lisa, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Drive.
Thank you. Good morning.
So what does Shepherd's Watch do? How are you able to track these predators and free some of these victims, some of these girls?
Well, basically our group is made up of everyday people. They all have special skill sets coming in from their professions or skills they've acquired over the years. We team together, and what we do is we close the gap on investigations for law enforcement. So we use a variety of different software programs, toolkits, skills, and we're able to put together cases and identify traffickers and victims, and we hand this over to law enforcement. Basically as informants, and they're able to get the step up on these cases. For every case that we have, unfortunately, there might be 10 right behind that, 30 right behind that, depending on the area you're in. We're being overrun right now with trafficking.
Lisa, when you say primarily young girls, what ages are you talking about?
Well, typically the ages that we see online might range anywhere between maybe 15, 16, 17 on up. But in these trafficking rings, you can find girls as young as 12. It's just going to depend. A lot of the minors that we saw early on that were being advertised online, they started hiding them within the ads, and you might not see them on the ads, but they're still in the ring itself.
I understand, Lisa, that in Dallas alone, more than 1,500 sex trafficking ads were posted daily, and online monitoring reveals 14,200 girls advertised on major trafficking websites. Is there any pressure being brought to bear on these newspapers and or these websites to stop accepting these kinds of ads?
Well, unfortunately, for every site that you take down, 5 more are going to pop up. These sites are often not even ran in Texas. They could be run overseas. They could be run by hackers. They can be run by different entities. You take down one, they're going to put 5 more up. That's not really how we're going to go about combating this. We have to disrupt these rings and disrupt the networks. If you start taking down the networks and the rings themselves, you could be affecting anywhere between, 15 to 50 girls in one ring.
All right, so you want them out in the open. You want them to be to running these ads so that you can use this software to discover them and track them down.
So to speak, yes. Because if you take down one ad, or escort a site, there's going to be others that pop up, and if you try to suppress that information, it just makes it more difficult to find them and put the puzzle piece together. But right now, what we're concentrating on is, disrupting the networks and taking the networks down.
Okay, we'll find about how we disrupt those and take them down coming up. Right now, though, it's 8:13. Traffic and weather on the 3s all morning long on Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Once again, Chuck Whitaker.
Back up on 890.
On the Newsmaker hotline with us is the lead investigator, Shepherd Watch Foundation, Lisa. And Lisa, I was reading on your website, the chilling reality is that ordering a trafficking victim has become as simple as using an app like Uber or visiting an ordinary apartment or business, places that you and your family may walk by every day. And so this, to me, cries of an epidemic. And the numbers are just staggering. How can we help? How can our listeners, how can people, average Americans, help Shepherd's Watch Foundation do your jobs?
Well, I think everyday people can step in and help this cause tremendously. I mean, support your local groups, whether they're safe houses or investigative intelligence groups like ours that support law enforcement. Be supportive of your law enforcement. These guys are out there giving it their all. They are the true heroes, frontline heroes in this cause. And that's why we've stepped in to help them, because this is an epidemic. And the numbers that we've seen that have increased in the last 4 years are staggering. And the numbers of migrant girls that are being trafficked, it's staggering. There's also boys, too, but the numbers for the girls just skyrocketed. And there was, at one point where we were seeing girls trickle into, we had sites that were dedicated to migrant trafficking. And it was really heartbreaking.
When you say heartbreaking, how many of those heartbreaks have you been able to bring to a happy resolution?
Well, I can tell you this. We've disrupted a lot of networks. We've disrupted a lot of rings. We can't talk about those specifically because a lot of those do make the news. So what we do is we just concentrate on telling people this is the number of ads that we see per day and the number of ads we see per week. Do know this, that law enforcement is taking great strides into disrupting these networks. They have really put their focus on trying to take these rings down. They're working closely with their district attorneys and trying to, make cases and get enough evidence to take them down one by one. It's difficult, though, because we do have a lot, of cases that are stepping back up in. As soon as we get one down, we've got one coming right back up that needs attention.
But that's manpower you're talking about. That's manpower you're talking about. If they have more manpower than you, they can keep posting different escort services faster than you can take them down.
That is true. And they've also gotten very creative on using different sites. So, whether it's, Facebook and garage sale ads or, it could be on TikTok. It can be on Instagram. It used to be on the X platform, but once Elon Musk bought the X platform, it cleaned it up quite a bit. But we would see ads, advertising girls, even minors, on some of these platforms, and it was really disturbing because there's supposed to be some level of security, but you could see it posted even on garage sale ads. It was just amazing to me.
We're talking with lead investigator Lisa of shepherdswatchfoundation.org. That is the website. More on that in just a second. But Lisa, what happens to these young migrant girls once you're able to break them out of their captivity, or where do they go next?
Well, that would be a question for law enforcement, because those relationships are built with law enforcement, and they have protocols that they have to follow, and where these minors go or where the migrants go. There are safe houses set up that protect and rehabilitate individuals. We are more on the side of the investigative intelligence side, so we work closely with law enforcement into disrupting the rings, hunting down the data and bringing that to light. But the safe house situation and victim resources is something that law enforcement works with, and they've built some great relationships with people over the last few years. So they're doing a really good job at that. Do
you have any idea the main antagonists here? Are they cartels? Are they gangs here in Texas? Because obviously this is going on in other states as well, but you're only focused on Texas. Who is doing most of this?
Well, we say that we're mostly focused on Texas, but unfortunately a lot of these rings do jump jurisdictions. So they're going to start in Texas, they'll jump the state line, and then they spread throughout the United States. So it's not uncommon to see one ring that starts in Texas and ends up in Cincinnati, Ohio, or New York. They will all have threads going across the United States. I'd say your number one issue that we have with a lot of these rings is going to be transnational criminal organizations. So you're looking at cartels, you're looking at organized crime. They're very organized, and they have counterintelligence. These are not stupid people, and how they move these girls and how they advertise for them. They're making a lot of money right now.
Yep, and that's why there's great threat to you and your other investigative team. So if our listeners and others that are tuning in today, can they donate? Is there something they can do specifically to Shepherd's Watch Foundation?
Absolutely. They're free to donate to us, and if they have any questions or they're wanting to get involved in their local community, give us a shout. Let's see what we can do to help network you out. If you'd like to donate to our cause, we would love that. Follow us, please. We're making great strides, and, we're trying to incentivize and encourage people to get involved, because everyday people can get involved in this cause. There's something that you can do to help combat and counter trafficking, and these people need us. They need our help. A lot of them, especially the ones.
What is the biggest need that you have right now?
I think the biggest need that we have is opening up the eyes to the communities to let them know how common this is. This is every day. It's all around you. And you're passing by it. You don't even notice it. It could be in your grocery store. It could be in your department store. It can be at a restaurant, a cantina. It's a lot more places than you know. And it's not just out of the seedy hotels. We have trafficking going on in homes in million-dollar neighborhoods. We have it going on in apartments. It's everywhere.
Lisa, lead investigator, shepherdswatchfoundation.org. That is the website. Lisa, thank you for taking the time to really open our eyes up on this very important issue. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. 8:20 right now. Talk Radio 680 WCBM. Telephone number here, 410.